Hey, I'm Nige and I'm a cartoon addict. From an early age, I was obsessed with Asterix books and He-Man, G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles, John Crickfalusi, Duckman, The Tick, Sam and Max. I eventually spiraled into Rotorua, The Incredibles, student films from French animation schools, webcomics. I'm in deep here. So I made cartoons, more specifically, two-dimensional, hand-drawn traditional animation, so moving cartoons. I don't do lifelike animation like you see in Pete's Dragon or The Hobbit. I don't do three-dimensional computer animation like you might see in video games or Pixar films either. That stuff's great. I just happen to make the kind of cartoons that have outlines. I use the old Walt Disney technique, drawing frame after frame of almost the same thing to imitate movement. I sit at a drawing board working on multiple sheets of paper at once to make sure the character always looks exactly the same. This Walt Disney method that they use for Lion King and whatnot is also used to make everything from Foot Rot Flats to The Simpsons to Brotown. I love drawing with coloured pencil on paper, then inking crisp line work with markers once I'm happy with the movement. Then every drawing gets scanned into the computer for colouring. Once digitised, I can manipulate shadow drawings to look like shadows, layer the whole thing together as digital video, paint backgrounds, add effects and sound. So, although I hand draw all my animation, I still use computers a lot. Traditional animation is a hugely labour-intensive art form, but computers have taken it from a near impossible level down to pretty difficult. These days, a lot of us now draw straight into software like Adobe Flash or Toon Boom Harmony using digital pens and tablets. Back when I started studying at Auckland Animation College in 1995, which was an actual thing, I learned how to animate with pencil and paper. Then worked in a studio for years where I learned to combine software with my drawing to make TV shows, TV ads, games, websites. Unfortunately, I've never worked on anything that you'll actually recognise outside of late 90s TV commercials. The Warehouse, McDonald's, Ribena, things like that. See, I was lucky enough to land a brilliant apprenticeship with Mark Saunders and Inkspot Digital, and they threw me in the deep over and over and over. The best way to get good at something? Do it. And then do it again. I travelled the world drawing from wherever. I lived in Japan while working for the Americans on this. I recall a time when I was sitting on a beach in Spain animating Rarotongan language lessons for a client north of London. I mean, it was winter in Spain, so calm down. Then as a solo act, I found that there was a lot of work animating web commercials and explainer videos. You see them on Facebook, Kickstarter, TED, where they trick you into concentrating on what some random is explaining by using animation to highlight their point, sort of like what I'm doing right now. The quality of the movement is usually a lot lower than animation used for storytelling, so it's faster and cheaper to make, and therefore, popular. I definitely prefer character animation though, where I can give the little figures I draw some life and personality. Directing music videos is great, where the characters can live alongside a beat. I thought it'd be cool working with musicians too, but they often hire animators because they're too busy to make a music video, so I never met Savage. Collaborative projects are fun. Sometimes you get to throw ideas and scribbles around with other creatives to check everybody's on the same page. Animatics, like the one you see on the left here, are like moving storyboards. They're super important during the planning stage to help highlight stuff that ain't gonna work before spending hours making the wrong thing. This stuff hasn't made me a millionaire yet, but the making cartoons lifestyle has been pretty interesting. Surrounded by artists, travelling with idea people, directing voice actors, waking up midday to go to the movies, then a meeting at the pub. Actual work could be 8 PM till 6 AM depending on what you got on. I'm still a responsible adult though. Teacher even. I just love being able to make whatever cartoons I can think up. I could make a whole movie sitting in my pyjamas at home if I had all the time in the world and more pyjamas. I have pencil, paper, computer, affordable software, the skills to drive them, ideas, and the internet. Making a whole movie would be a bit scary, so I use my powers for smaller, more manageable jobs, like the 48 Hours competition. They give you a list of 6 random elements, and you have 2 days to make a short film out of those things. 1 second past deadline, disqualified. Me and my people take the long way around and draw the whole thing. I was the main character for our 2014 effort. Peter Jackson saw it and sent us to the finals. The joy of animation is all here, he reckoned. We didn't win, but it was mind-blowing having amazing craftsmen spend their weekend drawing me getting killed over and over. This year, I entered the competition with a team of animation students, which was ridiculous fun and a hell of a first effort. I'll show you another time. Now, I grew up on cartoons. I spent a lot of my high school years drawing comics that will stay buried. I played games on my Commodore 64 personal computer when I didn't have change to go play Spaceys. I used my VCR to tape cartoons off telly and rewatch them over and over. In fact, I first started learning to draw by pausing a show called Ren and Stimpy, putting tracing paper over the TV screen, which was glass back in those days, and drawing my favourite poses. Then using what I learned to create my own characters. This is an odd space soap I wrote when I was 17 and developed on and off for a few years. I may still use bits of it one day. See, the world is moving more and more towards their screens. My 3-year-old nephew dangerously explores YouTube if you turn your back for a minute. And if everyone wants to be out playing Pokemon Go, meeting people and risking their lives, then the world's going to need more content, more stuff to watch to keep their screens occupied. Why not cartoons? So at the moment, I'm teaching at the same school that I trained at 21 years ago, Animation College, though I teach at the Rotorua campus now. I'm training up an army of animators for my next venture, which is creating Māori cartoons, but not like what you'd think. I don't personally want to tell battle stories about muscly warriors or myths and legends or drug tales and gang stories. That's not for me. I want to create a Māori pop culture that young te reo speakers can get excited about and hopefully hold on to that language longer than they usually might. I want to create an industry for the next generation. See, cartoons are everywhere in France and Japan, Estonia even. I want our young people to be able to grow up making cartoons for a living if they want. We can send our cartoons to film festivals all over the world, subtitled in that exotic Māori language of ours. Oh, I'm out of pictures. Okay, bye.